You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Thursday. The first thing to know is Wall Street takes a break from declines and bond yields rise. Global stocks saw mixed trade on Thursday amid ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and China. Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Zhang Hanhui said that Beijing was not afraid of a trade war and said the U.S. provoking trade disputes is naked economic terrorism, economic chauvinism, and economic bullying. Asian markets followed Wall Street lower with the Nikkei 225 and Shanghai Composite both closing down about 0.3%. Elsewhere, the Pan-European Stoxx 600 bounced off a 2.5-month low. In another break from recent sell-off sentiment, U.S. bond yields were on the rise as demand diminished, although the yield on 10-year treasuries remained below that of the 3-year note. Known as yield inversion, this phenomenon is often considered to be an indicator of recession. Other safe haven assets such as gold, the yen, or Swiss franc also moved lower on Thursday. The second thing to know is Uber is set for its first earnings report as a public company. Uber will issue its first earnings report as a public company after Thursday's market close, with investors hoping for some impressive numbers to boost the stock out of its malaise. Share performance has disappointed since the ride-sharing company went public earlier this month, sitting 11.2% below its $45 a share IPO price. Analysts are predicting Uber will report a quarterly loss of 78 cents per share on revenue of about $3.1 billion, according to forecasts compiled by investing.com. In an interview with a German newspaper earlier this week, Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi confirmed that the ride-hailing company will not achieve profitability in the next year or two, but insisted that it will eventually leave the losses behind. Also, on Thursday's earnings calendar, discount retailer Dollar General and Dollar Tree will report ahead of the open, while Costco Wholesale will publish results post-market. The third thing to know today is U.S. growth is expected to be revised down. Investors will receive updated economic growth figures for the U.S. in the first quarter at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Gross domestic product is expected to be revised down to 3.1% from an initial reading of 3.2%. The forecast tick lower comes amid recent signs of economic weakness on a global level and fears that escalation of the Sino-U.S. trade conflict could lead to a recession. Although the chorus of policymakers at the Federal Reserve maintain their stance that interest rates are at the appropriate level, markets have become increasingly skeptical. Fed fund futures currently price in the profitability of 25 basis points for the rate cut for September is at above 50%. Also, on Thursday's economic calendar, weekly jobless claims, the goods trade balance, and wholesale inventories for April will be published at the same time as GDP data, while April pending home sales will be released at 10 a.m. Eastern. The fourth thing to know today is U.S. crude recovers ahead of official inventory data. Oil prices showed mixed trade on Thursday, although U.S. crude advanced after the American Petroleum Institute reported Wednesday a draw of 5.3 million barrels in U.S. crude stockpiles. Official data from the Energy Information Administration is due Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, amid expectations for a drop of 857,000 barrels. Both reports were delayed by 1 day due to Monday's Memorial Day holiday. Oil has been under pressure as escalating trade tensions between Washington and Beijing supported concern that the economic fallout could negatively affect demand. And the fifth thing to know today is the Department of Justice wants T-Mobile and Sprint to create a new carrier. The U.S. Department of Justice will reportedly require T-Mobile and Sprint to prepare for the creation of a brand new wireless carrier as a precondition to approve their $26.5 billion merger. According to Bloomberg, the Department of Justice is concerned about the fact that the proposed merger would reduce the number of large carriers in the U.S. from 4 to just 3. The precondition would avoid the Department of Justice's objection to the deal diminishing competition. Earlier this week, Reuters reported that a group of potential buyers were preparing bids for prepaid wireless brand Boost Mobile in an upcoming sale valuing the offshoot of U.S. wireless carriers T-Mobile and Sprint at up to $3 billion. That sale is a concession required by the U.S. Federal Communications Commission and is expected to move forward once the DOJ gives the green light to the merger. Our second story today is from MarketWatch. Trade deficit widens in April as exports and imports drop. The U.S. trade deficit in goods widened slightly in April, rising to a seasonally adjusted $72.1 billion from $71.9 billion, the Commerce Department said Thursday in an advanced look at the data. Wholesale inventories climbed by 0.7%, and retail inventories grew by 0.5%, the government said. The advanced look at trade is released before a fuller picture gets unveiled that includes the impact of services. So what happened? Pretty much every category of exports and every category of imports fell in April. Exports fell 4.2% and imports dropped by 2.7%. Auto exports cratered by 7.2% and capital goods exports fell by 6.5%. Our third story today is from investing.com. Bitcoin is hovering near a one-year high. Bitcoin was hovering close to its highest levels in a year on Thursday after a rally that has seen it rise around 140% so far this year, bringing it closer to testing the $9,000 level. Bitcoin was at $8,747 on the investing.com index as of 7:10 a.m. Eastern, within striking distance of the high of $8,902.8 reached on Monday, its strongest level since May. After tumbling from record high closes to $20,000 reached in December 2017, the digital currency spent most of its first quarter of 2019 hovering below the $4,000 level before regaining momentum in early April. While little fundamental news has accompanied the rally, some analysts comment that the largest cryptocurrency by market cap has received a boost from the recent escalation in trade tensions between the U.S. and China. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Thursday, May 30th, 2019. Your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Trade smart and have a great day.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.